Something I want to talk about is it sounds like quite a few of them are not problem aware, or they're not as problem aware as what you'd like them to be coming at the call.
Mm,
As in, they're unsure if they need help, or they're unsure of how bad their situation is.
yeah,
When you get these people, that's your job when it comes to sales to make them problem aware because nobody's going to buy if they don't think they have a problem.
mm,
The majority of
okay,
people, if the majority of the people, if you look at like the funnel, they're not going to be problem aware.
mm,
Like the people who are problem aware, they're the ones that come to the call like really wanting helping to move forward. The majority of people just don't even know what the fuck's going wrong. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
So if you think, let's just say for example that all I did was sales training, and we done our first call, and you're like, oh, it's just the ads, it's the leads, it's the bleeds. And I'm like, all right, great, sound no problem. And let's just run through a quick sales scenario, and we run through it, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, like you got a sales problem here, Tevin. Like you're bad,
mm.
but you don't believe that. It's like, well, we ain't moving forward and helping you with sales. My job would be to make it black and white the deficit between where you are to where you really should be.
That's a good catch you actually made. That's really good because you're right. Because sometimes when they're speaking, I can tell us exercise is a part of the issue as well. So how do I bring that into conversation and make them aware? Because obviously I'll sell them on what they want, like as we discussed, whatever they're saying. Like the woman who signed up, but she's doing it for like a wedding, the weekly one. She didn't mention anything about exercise. She's like we didn't even speak about it because she was just so adamant, like her nutrition. She's like, I just want help with nutrition. And also because the nutrition ad, that's probably why. But how do I then go into the exercise? Like how do I translate that in the pitch? So
I mean, it's running through scenarios and situations with them.
mm,
So if you think like you know what the ideal scenario is, and it all comes down to the excuse me, it all comes down to the result, doesn't it? If they're not getting the result, they're obviously fucking busy doing something that's not going to push them forward, or they're not doing nothing at all. It's one of those two things. What I like to do rather than tell somebody is just like guide them through it by running through situations.
mm,
So taking what they've been doing and then extending it over a longer period of time. So let's just say that we're on a call with Jasmine, let's call her. Yeah.
mm,
And Jasmine's like, yeah, it's not going too bad. I just, need to stay on track, blah, blah, blah. All right, Jasmine, like, talk me through the last 3 months, aka like the specific results that you've seen. Like, not feelings, like, what's the actual tangible results? How much have you lost over the last 3 months? Well, I've lost like 4 pounds because I've like gained some and put some back on. All right, cool, sweet. And over those last 4 months, like just a brief overview, what have you been doing to get those 4 pounds off? Well, I've been doing X and Y and Z and blah blah blah. Great. Are you happy with those results over the last 4 months, Jasmine? Well, it could be better, but it's all right. Okay. And Jasmine, what's the end goal here? Well, it's probably to lose like 25 pounds and getting this stress here. All right, sweet. Nice one, Jasmine. So, Jasmine, if I'm looking at this, and if you continue on the path that you are currently going on, I mean, let's take the 25 divided by 4. It's going to take you nearly 6.5 months to do this. And that's providing that you stay incredibly consistent with what you are, which is one of the core problems here, is that you're not that. If you were to have to make a bet on this, how do you see this going? If you were a betting woman that had to put the house and the mortgage and all the savings on this, would you say in the next 6 months you would get yourself there based off your own track record, or would that be too much of a gamble for you? It's like realistically, we've laid out the facts here, and that ain't gonna happen, is it? Do you know what I
mm.
mean? If she turns around and goes, "No, I 100% do believe that. I would literally bet the house on me achieving that." It's like, well, you ain't gonna get a sale there today, are you? Do you know what I
Yeah, exactly.
mean? But we take her through a very extreme scenario and lay out the facts to make it incredibly difficult to say that. More likely, she's gonna go, "Yeah, probably not." And it's like, cool, that's no problem at all. I mean, the first thing that we want to look at here, Jasmine, is for you to achieve that and for us to be 100% confident in this, because you are capable of doing it, you're just not sure how yet. What do you think you would need from me? And it's like, we're now moving into why do you need me? Because you've just said you can't do it yourself. So you obviously need external help. then she'll talk.
So I'm kind of almost playing devil's advocate. Like you can do it on your own. What's going to happen? But if why do you need me? Kind of be. I sometimes try and do that where I'm being like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like skeptical. Like why do you need me? So
Yeah,
why do you even need me? So you think I should kind of play more into that?
100%. Yeah, if you pull away, they'll pull in, especially if they're in pain. If you wanted to like stretch this even further, you know,
Mm.
it's a case of like, Jasmine, just remind me how long you've not been where you wanted to be. I think you mentioned like 3 years or something in your application. Yeah, about 3 years, but honestly, like my whole life. Oh, cool. Well, that's not a great scenario to be in, but let's just take the 3 years. We're saying 6 months here, Jasmine, but but when we really look at the long term, scheme of things, 6 months actually sounds amazing because you've been struggling for this for fucking 3 years.
Mm.
That's essentially, 4 times longer or whatever it is, longer than what we would achieve it by ourselves with. Do you want my take on this and what I would expect from working together? Yeah, cool. Well, Jasmine, if we look at about £2 a week, which is the average. I mean, if you want to come in and you want to be like the A-star superstar client that does like £3 to £4 a week, then come in, be that person. But I just want to go on like worst case scenario average in case you just want to like cruise along. And we take the £25 and we divide it by that. We should essentially be there in 12 weeks.
Mm.
Out of the three scenarios, aka like number one, you do this for another 3 years, so we end up at 6 years total. Scenario number two, you maybe do it by yourself and you achieve it within that like 6 to 8 month mark if you're lucky. Or scenario three, like we guarantee that we lose all this in just 12 weeks. Which one would you prefer to take? Which one do you think gives you the highest chance of success here, Johnson? It's
I like
fucking
that.
obvious when you lay it out, isn't it, Jimmy? But I'm not. The worst thing you can do is go, do you see how dumb this is? Or like, this is what you should do. Or this is what I'm telling you to do. It's like, based off these three things, two of them are very obvious, not right answers. What one do
Mm.
you think would give you the highest chance of success? If she says the middle one or the end one, then you just end the fucking call right there and then. Because she's just being a dick, do you know what I mean? But it's obvious that she takes that path.
Okay, cool. And then where would you take that conversation next? So then would you go into like obviously like okay, we're kind of talking about this and that, but that's the kind of dream scenario they were kind of after. So then would I be like, would I crash him down then? Would I then take him back down in terms of that pain and be like, okay, cool, that's where we want to get to. So how are you feeling right now? Where are you at right now? So I kind of bring him back down. So kind of take him a bit. Look, this is what we can achieve.
Yeah,
These options. To take my option and be like, okay, cool. So that's what we're trying to achieve.
yeah,
But where are you right now? How are you feeling?
yeah, yeah. So realistically, if she's showing some like resilience here, it's going to be pretty early on in the call that you can feel that. AKA, like, you know, when you're like, why do you need to do this now? Or, is this an option to continue doing it by yourself? And she's like, well, maybe. So that's going to be pretty early on. You are going to then come around to more specific to the goal. The easy way to segue into that would be like, I know that we mentioned we want to drop that £25 and fit in this dress. Just tell me the scenario that you're in right now. Because if that's the end point, that's where we want to get to. What are the feelings right now? If we just try to put you in that dress, like what would that emotional state be? Would you feel sexy and confident, or would you be thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, this is tight and I feel real uncomfortable? So yeah, you would then segue into let's talk about now today's scenario. So again, that you can just realize how bad it is. Joe.
Hmm. This would then basically be happening after I kind of asked about obviously what's the biggest obstacle you're facing,
Yep.
and what you've tried. I guess what you've tried, I kind of slow up and be like, give me a rundown of the last 6 months. What's been going on? What have you been doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
All
then I kind of
all
play
that
this whole.
yeah, all that would have happened just before you map out her scenarios here. Do you know what I mean? This is pure that scenario that I just ran through there. That's purely for somebody that's like, I think it might be an option to do it by myself. And like you say, you just play devil's advocate, and you're like, I agree. It literally is an option. It's also an option that I end this call and get on a flight to Paris and enjoy the rest of my day. So let's run through what that scenario would look like for you. Yeah,
Mm.
and then you do the whole. This is an option. This is an option. This is an option. Which one do you think would be best for you?
Alright, cool. So I'll use it with someone who's kind of on the fence then.
Yeah,
If they give me vibes of they feel as if they can do this on their own, they don't need help.
yeah, yeah.
Let's say there's someone who's problem aware and they're clearly taking a call because they said they wanted help. But so with those people, would I still use this kind of scenario?
No, if they're like, so Tevin, you've done X, Y, and Z over the last 6 months. Is it an option for that to continue? No, I really need to change something. And when you say change something, are you talking about like internally yourself, or you wanting to do something together with that external help and really guarantee a result this time? No, I need that external help. Fantastic. Move on. Like that objection of maybe I can do it by myself is not going to come up with that person.
Mm.
That that scenario that we just ran through is just to crush the whole there is another option, or I can maybe do this by myself. That's the only people that you would go down that scenario with.
Yeah, I like that. No, you're right. Now reflecting back, I can see where this happened with someone else as well who thought that they can do it in themselves. Like I didn't go for this scenario, and they were going through, oh yeah, they can do it in themselves, and I was like, how do I get out of it? Because it was too late in the conversation. So I was
Yeah,
like, even though they told me what the consequences were,
yeah,
in head they still was so like focused on doing it on their own, I couldn't bring it back. I was
yeah.
like, "Fuck, I can't really say anything."
And anything where it feels like it's going to be an issue or a potential objection, just run through the scenario with them and just show them this is what it could possibly look like. Would you like to go down that path, or would you like to go down a different one? So it's
No,
like,
this is good. This is really good. It gives me an option and it's kind of just show them that we've been doing X, Y, and Z. If you carry on doing this,
yeah,
this is what's going to happen. But if we do X, Y, and Z, we would averagely lose X amount of pounds. So
yeah,
I guess which of these scenarios sounds the best to actually get you to your goal?
yeah,
And then it's obvious then. But if they pick the shit scenario,
yeah.
I basically know that,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
they're
not
wasting their time.
interested. They're wasting your time if they pick the shit scenario. It's just dumb at that point, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But
Mm. Mm.
we just want
There's
to frame it and just use these scenario setups on any objection, anything at all. Do you know what I mean? And just, excuse me, sorry, play that devil's advocate, like you said, and support them in just doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Because the only person that's ever truly sold is the person that decides that they want to move forward. If you
Mm.
force them forward, they're not really sold internally. Like you've drive them forward.
Mm. You're right. And make you that it's kind of stupid because I've unintentionally kind of played this scenario before, but like now you mention it, I can actually be strategic with it. I've used this kind of before. I never really thought about it as in a way to handle objections.
Yeah,
This is quite good. I've used it with different ways, as in obviously you make doing this, so you carry on doing this. What's going to happen?
yeah,
It's going to get worse. Do you want it to get worse?
yeah,
No. So would having everything done for you help you to get to the end goal?
yeah,
Yeah. So which option makes sense? And then they kind of want to say this option.
yeah,
There we go.
yeah,
I've used that to kind of get over the line. So I'm not gonna this is better. It's more it's framed now. So I actually know,
yeah.
okay, use scenarios to kind of help them.
Yeah, just use a scenario and just paint the picture for them, so it's incredibly obvious. If the picture is clear enough, they'll just see it. But sometimes in their mind, they can't see the picture; it's not there. They're looking through like a perfection lens of it'll be different this time. I'll change something and just lay out. Well, these are all the facts. If you really had to bet your life on this, what would you say the scenario is going to be here? What is the outcome going to be? If you take a very extreme example like betting your life on this or the house and the mortgage and the savings, they're going to go a little bit more logical than emotional, which is what you
Like
want them to be in this moment is logical. Because if they're emotional, they're like, I can do it. Like I watched a Tony Robbins video the other day and he said how I was amazing and I can achieve anything. It's like,
no.
not in this scenario, but that's
So
it.
essentially I can use because some people do speak to me about they want to improve their health. So I can use what happens to your health if you carry on down this road. Does it get better?
Yeah,
And then obviously I can kind of play that card and be like, do you want it to not get better?
yeah,
And kind of make them get that kind of feelings out there.
If you think it's the same way, even if what we ran through before is like the partner objection, and it's just running through that scenario of, well, what would that conversation look like? And the more extreme you can make it, the better. Like, are they one going to go like, what the fuck are you doing? Frying pan over the head, black eye incoming. Or are they going to be like, of course, honey, I want you to feel your best. And it's like, well, we're making it two very ends of the extreme here. Logically, they're probably going to be like, well, no, of course they're going to say your best. But let's just say they don't, though. Let's say they do fucking charge at you with a frying pan. Like, what happens? Do you not make the step forward and become the dad that you want to be for your kids and then resent your partner for the rest of your life when you're on your deathbed and you can barely move and you're only fucking 40 years old? Or do you just take the reins and go, hey, I'm going to do this for me, her, and the family and kids?
Yeah, I like that. That's smart.
We're just using scenarios there that are so fucking obvious that it's just like, what else can you say? Do you know what I mean?
It makes sense. When you say like, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a cool way of kind of doing it. Because as soon as you start speaking, I was reflecting back on one person in particular, and I think she was saying was so dumb, and I was like, you really need help, but she didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't think she would have gone over the line anyway, but maybe using the scenarios made her see that, oh, maybe I'm being a bit stupid here, and then who knows?
Yeah, people just do get lost in their own bullshit sometimes. Do you know what I mean? But that's where just the sale comes in, and we have to just make them aware of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they actually do need the help.
So, one thing I want to ask you then is in a sales conversation, because obviously some people are so fixated on X being the problem, this one thing. Yeah, I'm still getting these sign-ups, people signing up, but there's some people, let's say, I know there's more to it, like the exercise, but let's say they're just wanting that one particular thing. Should I not try and make them realize that there's other things? For example, like a lot of women I'm speaking to, nutrition, it's all about nutrition. They're like, so don't get me wrong, some have been exercise and that's all they care about. It. Like the woman who's saying that it's all about exercise, but some of them are focused solely, they just want nutrition help. So do you think I should not try and then make them aware of exercise? Or should we play down that path of what they're asking?
I think there's a there's a line where it's like, what's the goal of the call? The goal of the call is to get them signed up as a client. So it's like, I wouldn't want to force an idea on somebody that's extremely, resilient to that idea and lose the sale, because now the objective of the call is being failed, which we haven't signed them up. It's like, if we make them aware that they need training help, but we don't sign them up, then we failed. Like, the call hasn't went the way that we wanted it to. It's a fucking sales call. I would try and make them aware that that is a problem. So, because at the end of the day, we both know it's a problem. If it means that we don't acknowledge the problem on the call, but once you sign them up, you give them the reality check of, hey, this is a fucking issue, then I would much rather do it after they've signed up than lose the sale prior.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if someone's reluctant, they're a lot more accepting to it when they've already paid you the money and now you're coaching them, because now you have an authority stance. When you're on a sales call, yeah, we try to remain in charge as much as possible, but they have all the fucking power here. You only want one outcome. They get to decide how it fucking goes. Do you know what I mean? So, unless it's one of those ones where you're like, I don't fucking want to work with you. But I would try and make them aware of it. If they're resilient to it, I wouldn't force it and lose the sale. I would wait until they come in. And it's a classic case of like, you want to give somebody what they think they want so that you can actually give them what they need. If they're like, I just need this, it's like, all right, fine, cool. And then you bring them in, you're like, oh, holy shit, I didn't realize how bad this is. Can we have a conversation about that?
Smart.
Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a toss up whether they're very resilient to that idea or not. Do you know what I mean? If I came on our sales call, I guess it wasn't even a fucking sales call, really. It was more of a tell me how this works when moving forward. But if I came on our call and was really pushing the whole, we're going to work a lot on sales with you, and you didn't think that was the problem, you're going to be thinking, well, I'm buying into something. I don't think it's going to fix my issue here.
Sure.
Even though it is, and I know that, like, you ain't bought into that. You were sort of coming in and thinking, well, we're going to say I don't want to have a look at anything, but I really want to focus on ads.
Yeah, true.
Realistically, though, I'm like, well, if we don't fucking fix sales, we can put 100 appointments on your calendar and no one's going to fucking convert. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
But we needed to fill up that calendar, review a sales call, and go, hey, Tevin, this isn't that fucking good right now. We should probably work on this. Do you know what I mean? But you were open to that idea once it was apparent, once we've getting inside and looked to it. Do you know what
Mm. Yeah, you're right.
I mean?
100%. Yeah, because if you sold me something else I didn't really want, I would have been probably like, oh, he's trying to sell me the wrong thing, and it would have turned me off. But
Yeah,
if you sold me what I wanted, in reality, there was more to it.
yeah,
Yeah, you're right. No, it makes sense. So don't try and change that part too much because
yeah,
I was wanting to know if it's something I should play into because I was like, they're not asking for it, so why am I trying to give them something they asked for? Even though I
yeah,
know it's a problem, I just want to hear your take on it.
yeah. I would give somebody what they want to eventually give them what they really need. It's like, what's that saying? It's I can't remember. It's you know it's kind to be nice, or it's nice to be kind, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or it's, I can't remember what it is, but it's basically just like, it's just giving them what they want to eventually fucking, this is actually what you need, motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? And somebody's a lot more open to that once they've moved forward with you. If you want to sit at the back end of the call and after they've paid you, go, do you want my like 2 cents on something? Yeah, yeah, of course, sweet. Because they're way more open. They've literally just paid you at this point. You can then be, I really think that you need help when it comes to training. Like, I strongly believe this. And just as like a reference point, this is like a doctor sitting in front of you telling you that you've got more than just a cold, but you're adamant that it's just a cold.
Mm. No, you're right.
They're
You're
going to
right.
be open to it more now because they've just moved forward with you, and there's a trust element there. Then you're the guy that's on the sales call trying to get the cash off them for the first time.
No, that makes sense.
Do you know what I mean? If you say to them, listen, I already have your cash now, this is me purely trying to help you, then they're going to be a lot more open to, versus, this is the guy that's just trying to get my phone money. He's telling me anything. Do you know what I mean?
No, it makes a lot of sense. So,
Yeah.
now this is actually help, man. It's actually really useful. I never really thought about it now in regards. Even though I was actively using it, I didn't have a structure behind it. This is
Yeah.
giving me a nice little framework that I can use to be like, okay, cool. This is how I can play this now.
Yeah. There's a reason why they've turned up to the call at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? They haven't turned up because they're just like jumping on calls with people and having a fucking chin wag. Some people do, and they're really fucking sad, and you want to end the call as quick as possible with them. But for the for the 95% of people that don't, there's a reason why we're here today. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? If if I'd have jumped on with you, and where you were like, yeah, I ran this ad in the past and it worked really well, blah blah blah, like you did, it's like, we'll go turn it back on then, and we can just end this call. And you're like, well, well, this thing, and I'm like, so it isn't that simple
Mm. No, and it
then.
wasn't.
Yeah, it's not that simple. Do you know what I mean? But people will try and play it down because nobody likes to paint themselves in a bad light. Do you know what I mean? That's why people will
Mm.
say, yeah, I'm really good. I'm doing X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, great. Well, you must be like 20 pounds down like the last 4 days. And I'm like, no, not really. I'm 3 pounds up. And it's like, oh, okay. What's wrong?
One of those personalities then
Yeah.
that when you're trying to get emotion out of them, and like, oh, so how is it affecting your weight? They're clearly overweight, it's affecting them, but they don't want to tell you it's affecting them.
Yeah.
So where should I take that? So let's say that kind of personality is being a bit stubborn. They're like, oh no, it's not really affecting me. I spoke to a woman like this, and was like, it's obviously affecting you. She didn't want to. She's, I think, did she sign up? I can't remember. I don't think she did. But she clearly what's it called? Didn't want to admit that it's affecting her, that the
Mhm.
weight's affecting her. So would I use a scenario in this position?
Well, I'll just lay it out because at the end of the day, something I used to say, because that used to fucking piss me off, and I'm like, oh, I just want to lose weight. I used to hate when somebody, I just want to lose weight. I'll just go, Devin, like, weight loss isn't fun, nor is it easy. Why are we going to put ourselves through something for no reason at all?
Oh, I like that. That's a good little twist.
And to them,
I,
it's like,
yeah.
well, there has to be a reason why. Do you know what I mean? Nobody just like gets up and is like, God, I'm bored today. Let me lose 10 pounds. Doesn't happen, does it? Let me do a bunch of shit that I really would prefer not to do for no reason at all. It's like there has to be some gain towards
I like that.
it. You can guide them to the watering hole by asking them scenario based things. Is
Mm.
this more of a health thing for you or a confidence thing for you? Hmm, it's probably it's probably more of a health thing. Oh, how come you're aware that it's a health issue? What is it that's showing you those flashing signs? Is it out of breath when you're walking up the stairs? Did you have a meeting with the doctor and he sat you down and told you some news? Or well, yeah, I basically went to the doctor's office and we ran through certain things, and he said that this is in the wrong place, blah blah blah. Did he give you a rundown of what would happen if those things don't change? Yeah, he said we basically got like 6 to 12 months. If this shit doesn't change, we could be looking at like a fucking heart attack. Let's just say that the guy, that's some dumb shit. Sweet. Well, I mean that's a pretty good reason to do this. 2 minutes ago, we were kind of just saying that we were doing this for a bit of a fun and a laugh. Now we're talking about a very extreme health situation here. I guess knowing that information, that really puts me in a different mindset having this conversation with you. I really want to take this as serious as possible. Can we just outline what would happen in the next 6 to 12 months for you not to want to make a change? Because I assume that you don't want to have a heart attack. So like what would be the reason that we don't move forward and don't lose this weight to avoid having a fucking heart attack? Well, there'd be no reason at all. I have to do something about this. Well, you see a lot of people say that they have to do something about something, but they never fucking do it. So I guess what's your track record of doing something about this? How long have you actually been accepting this for? Well, probably about 10 years. That's a long time to not do something about something that's really detrimental to you. Why do you think you've accepted that for so long? Well, because of blah blah blah. Do you think because you've had the conversation with your doctor, you've realised that it's non-negotiable to change this now, or is it an option to have the heart attack? There's got to be something. Do you know what I mean? Because, like I said, we ain't just doing this for fucking fun.
Yeah.
If they're really not giving you it, say that to them. Be like, great. Like, are we just going to lose like £20 for fun then? Is this just going to be like a side like experiment? Like, let's do something because we're fucking bored. And it's like, obviously not. Do you know what I mean? It's not a fucking gig, is it?
So why do you think these people are trying to like hide? Why do they want to?
They probably feel some form of shame.
Mm.
There's probably something that they're just really unconfident speaking to a stranger about right now. There's, I'm awful when I've hired fitness coaches in the past. And I'm like, possibly one because they weren't very good at sales, so they didn't really ask me the right questions. But the two that I worked with, they never really got the real reason that I wanted to get in better shape for. Like I say, probably because they didn't answer the right questions, but also because I'm not just going to come out with it. You're going to have to dig deeper and be willing to walk away for me to go, well, this is why I need to do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, if we're on a call, and let's just say like hypothetical scenario, like you need to grow the business because you're in like 20 grand of debt and your missus is going to leave you. You don't really want to tell me that right yet, because like we don't even know if we're moving forward and working together yet. So I'm going to have to really fucking dig and be willing to walk away and take away your lifeline for you to go, this is why I need to do it right. If somebody's in pain, like they don't always want to share that. They don't always want to talk to you yet. They will once they're moving forward and stuff, but we just need to be willing to walk away, because that's the only time somebody's gonna tell you if their lifeline is leaving. If you're in that debt and you're in that awful position, and I'm like, well, I guess we'll just leave this thing because you sound like you're doing fine. All you say is like, fuck, this one thing that's going to get me out of this shit position is willing to leave. Like, I have to stop this. I have to like grab this by the balls now.
Okay, nice. I like that. I can play into what's it called. Them not giving me anything. Like, okay, that's fine. So I guess if you just end this call, I feel you don't feel like you need any help. I guess.
Yeah.
I like that.
I always just say like the weight loss isn't fun at the end of the day. So like, if we ain't really got a good reason to do this, like, well, we ain't gonna stick to it. And two, like, you're gonna be bored in the next 7 hours when I tell you to eat a little bit less. And it's just like, well, yeah, because this is the reason why I should do it. It's like, oh, great, well, we're having a totally different conversation now.
Yeah, and I guess it'll make them it'll force them to almost open up because they realize that shit, actually, I'll be stuck if I don't get this person who I feel could potentially help me.
Yeah, 100%. There's got to be something, and if there's not, they've just turned up to have a fucking chin wag.
Exactly.
And we end that call. For me, so when when I was doing the fitness coaching, I was looking to hire like other coaches. It was purely an ego thing. It was purely when I achieve X, I want to look a certain way for status and power. I didn't give a fuck about my health. I didn't give a fuck about how I looked to myself in the mirror at all. I purely cared about when somebody else sees me, they're like, fuck, that guy's crushing it, business, and he's in insane shape, and he's got all this together, and they just see me on a very high level. It's purely ego driven. None of them asked the questions to figure that out, though.
Which is
I-
also helpful.
yeah, of course. Imagine on a call, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to leave this. And like, well, they can play on my ego and go, do you think it's acceptable to stand in that place and have these people look at you and think, God, that guy's crushing it, but fucking look at that belly? My ego is going to be like, oh, fucking no, I can't have that happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was already pretty sold with the two of them, so I was like, just tell me the price, we're going to move forward. I did eventually. Do you know what I mean? One of them actually got the back end of the call, and I was like, this was such a bad sales call. You are so lucky I'm already sold into this. It was actually, it was like fucking 2 years ago. Do you know Kev?
Yeah.
It was Kev. Which is funny because he's great at fucking sales now, do you know what I mean? But we've obviously worked on it. But we always laugh about it, do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, Jesus Christ, like it was so bad back then. But yeah, it's there's got to be something, but you just have to be willing to walk away from it and ask those right questions. Do you know what I mean?
No, you're right. Now, this is very useful. I might need to shoot it. I got a call coming up. I think we're going to take it. This is one of the people I've been really good about. Like, we were chatting back before.
What, the reschedule?
So sorry. So they said, I'm so sorry. I pulled into a legal safeguarding meeting. I'm on a very quick break and not allowed to be on my phone. I'm really sorry. So trying to reschedule it again.
That's cool. That's fine. At least it had the courtesy to message you. I mean, see if you can get them booked on later tonight or this evening.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm free later. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get them in.
Just say
today.
totally cool. I'm free between this time to this time this evening. Which will work best for you? Sort of make it as like that's what we're doing. Which one would work best for you, rather than like, would you like to book this evening? If you can get somebody on a reschedule the same day, the chance of them showing up is so much fucking higher than like 2 days later, 3 days later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because she's aware of it. Because obviously she said she's really sorry. So I'm gonna try and see if I can put it through the books, see if I can get her in.